Shelley Winter live, local, topical, and relevant. Follow me here, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, everybody, hold on. I'm coming to your calls. Follow me. About a week and a half ago, maybe, I don't know, let's call it a week ago, all right? Week ago. I came on the radio and I told you the story of a guy by the name of Cam Digby. Cam Digby is a 19, 20-year-old MAGA supporter, wears a Make America Great hat again, red hat. He went to TSU, Tennessee State University, and set up a table with a handwritten sign, he and his partners. They had camcorders, little phones on the selfie sticks, and they had a table and handwritten sign. One sign said DEI is illegal. The other sign said all illegal immigrants should be deported. Debate me. Let's talk about it, basically, is what he said. He sat down at this university. A couple guys, a couple young men stepped up to him and they talked. They had a conversation. The young man talked about racism. He talked about, well, how's it hurting you? And the young man said, well, you don't understand. And they went back and forth civilly. They talked back and forth. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of students came running down, get off our campus, you're MAGA, you're dangerous, and all of this stuff. And this whole thing turned into something. Security had to be called. The administration set out a press release, and everybody got all bent out of shape because everybody was scared of this young, skinny, 110-pound, wet, if that pound, white kid with a red MAGA hat on. They ran him off campus. Almost a riot ensued. This is all on video. And all the people, all the leaders, the Ben Crumps, the administration, everybody got up in arms and says, we need to protect our kids. We need to protect our students from these MAGA violent people. These red MAGA hat wearers. They're the most dangerous people in the world with their violent, divisive rhetoric. And that was for a week. This went on. Back and forth, back and forth. People defending the security, defending, we need to protect our kids. And all along I was saying, this is weak. This is weak. You can't debate a kid, a 19-year-old. You got to run them off campus. This is weak. And I kept saying, and people kept telling me I was wrong. You were wrong, Shelley. You don't know what you're talking about, Shelley Winter. You're a sellout, Shelley Winter. Dare I say the C word, Shelley Winter. And less than a week later, call it a little over a week later, I'm watching the news. Sunday morning. I just go into UGA for their homecoming. What a wonderful experience. Shout out to my good friends, the Holmes, Bridges and Joyette. Hung out with them. Went to the game, had a great time. Hung out with a bunch of AKs, watched a bunch of Qs, hang out, a bunch of Kappas and Alphas and a whole bunch of people. They had great buttons. UGA had buttons that said 1961, nothing else, just 1961, to commemorate the first year that African Americans were allowed on the UGA campus and it was integrated. Charlene Hunter and Hamilton Holmes. Beautiful celebration. Everybody had fun. I drove home. I get home Saturday night, I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden pops up on my my phone, South Carolina State shooting. South Carolina State is an HBCU. Remember, I told you that these people told me that MAGA, red hat wearers, 19-year-old white boys with a table and a handwritten sign were the most dangerous thing to a student on HBCU campus a week ago. And then I see, her name is Jalila. Jaliyah is her name. Let me say that, Jaliyah. Her name was Jaliyah. She's 19 years old. She left her home to go to a homecoming celebration at South Carolina State. And the same bourgeois, boule, middle-class, suburban, I'm better than you, that came after me, that told me a kid in a red hat at 19 years old was scarier and more dangerous than a 19-year-old kid from the hood packing a gun in his car. But that's what you guys do. You don't care about my children. You don't care anything about my children. You care about listening to these white liberal women who tell you what to do every single day, and you care only about beating the Republicans because that's what the white liberal women tell you to do. So you go to work every day, you listen to them, and you tell them what to do, and you have your marching orders. You don't care about these children? Because if you cared about these children, you would have said back then, wait a minute, I can't say that a kid in a red hat is more dangerous than a 19-year-old with a gun in his car. But that's what you try and convince me of. That's what you try and convince yourselves of. That's what you try and convince your parishioners of in your churches, in your big gold churches. You try and convince them all that this white man that doesn't exist, this boogeyman, this ghost, this monster that is not there is worse than the people that live right next door to you. Because you've become convinced that the people that live right next door to you, you cannot control. So rather than have the discussion, you just ignore it. And you point everybody in the other direction. Hey, look at the MAGA hat. He's dangerous. Well, what about the guy with the gun in the car? No, can't say nothing about that. It's a sickness, and it's killing our children. Every single day it kills our children. Because you live in Johns Creek, you live in Alpharetta, you live all over the place. You don't live in the hood anymore. You left. You don't know what it's like. You left. Now you want to be leaders. You got all your organizations. We raised $1 million. Where did it go? Oh, we got nice dresses on. Look, let me stop. Let me stop right there and let me say this. The fact of the matter is, you're killing my community. And you know it, but you don't care because you're getting rich off of killing my community. And you call me the names. When I speak on, oh, Shelly can't air our dirty laundry. You can't say that in public, not on WSB. Don't tell the white people that what you're talking about. No, you've got to stop, Shelly. Please stop. No, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to say it louder and louder and louder because none of you care. You just talked about a $5.1 billion investment in the city of Atlanta. Let me tell you how fraudulent that is. Yay, we're investing $5.1 billion in the city of Atlanta. God bless you, Mayor Andre Dickens. I love you. I'm going to vote for you if I can. If I lived in Atlanta, I would. You're a great mayor. You've done a wonderful job. But let's not get it twisted. This $5.1 billion that you're about to invest in the city of Atlanta came off the backs of poor people on TAD taxes, MARTA sales taxes, and a penny sales tax that Kasim Reed pushed years ago. And it was paid by poor black people. Now it's being taken advantage of by gentrifiers who paid $800,000, $900,000 a home, a bungalow in the city of Atlanta. They're going to reap the benefits of a tax you levied on poor people 10, 15 years ago. You think that's right? But I'm the sellout? I'm the coon? So Shelly Winter Show. We'll be right back.